Now get a response from George Kithi. Bwana Kithi, one of the guests I had in studio this morning, actually the Senator of Meru County, Mithika Linturi, asked that those who are investigating this matter need to be careful to ensure that due process is followed, especially in matters which are sometimes quote-unquote prosecuted in the media, in public domain. There's a danger that some of those charged could go to court and say, I don't think I can get a fair trial here. I think the media has published wrong information about me. Talk to me about some of the dangers and some of the the words fail me. How cautious must the investigating bodies be in a matter like this one, which the whole nation is very keenly watching?
Well, there's then the debate and friction on public interest and private interest. Certainly, the Constitution insulates everyone and guarantees everyone the constitutional rights and
right to a fair hearing.
Yes. However, it is because of the public outcry that there's all this outpouring. Remember, the public outcry was not because Wanjiku out there shouted at the highest. It's because something was picked by the public, went through a process in the media, got a life of its own. And then somehow, somewhat, somebody up there took it up and questioned out of the fact that the public is demanding.
Okay.
Now, the public has not sat at Uhuru Park and demanded the blood of anyone. It is questioning the administration on certain things that are happening. From there, then, it is picked and gets a life of its own, thus the investigation. So the mere fact that you're a public body or dealing or supplying a public body by itself, you've entered into the arena of public interest. Suffice it to say, therefore, that by the time something wrong happens and you're questioned, you'll be questioned in that context. And therefore, you will be prosecuted because the people have interest in their money, number one. And people are going to be angry. And eventually, that is what is supposed to happen. Because the ultimate role of Ava's oversight role under our constitution is that of a Kenyan. He has delegated that to the people, but Article 1 reserves the rights of this oversight, embedding it and ingraining it in the Kenyan. Now, fast forward, what then should happen? Of course, the delicate balancing in terms of, if you record a statement, you don't give it to a journalist to publish what the statement says. You don't, in fact, update the journalist on how you're doing your investigation. So then what is in the public domain is how the movement, the system is handling the whole issue. So that, like happened last time, if there are certain personalities that seem to be protected, because this is not the first NYS saga, the last one, the public questioned on how certain personalities were handled. To date, that question still is there and has not been answered.
Selective justice.
Yes.
That in this room right now, if police came, they would handle each of us differently depending on our status in life.
Yes. Yes.
And yet we are all sitting on the same table.
That's true. So then it means therefore that if the public is unsatisfied on how the investigators have handled, they must question it too. And therefore, through and through, the oversight role of the Kenyan through the media cannot be gainsaid. And therefore, to try to miff or try to tell the media to back off, this is impossible, because the media, again, is an orientation of the public on how the exasperation of the public is, how frustrated the public could be, and how angry is no other way. This will have been heightened in the manner it is if the media and the public did not participate. So what then contextually is happening? Governments ordinarily are reactive to the people, because the people then question the government and what is happening in government, because it is their money in the first place. Those occupying offices of officialdom are occupying them in trust for the people, meaning that they are mere custodians through a certain period of time in law. And therefore, when people question, they use certain media upon which these questions are done, the internet and the media. And therefore, Kenyans must in fact be in the streets to demonstrate and carry some of these people or carry them from their offices to court, because the right of public arrest,
yes,
of popular arrest, of citizen arrest is also in law.
Okay. Fair enough. I think you've given us quite a good legal perspective. Surely I'll be telling you what NYS Director General Richard Ndubai had to say in his appearance before the Public Accounts Committee. Actually, we can do that now. Now, the arrests come days after Ndubai, together with PS Lillian Omolo, appeared before the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee. Ndubai, alleging his troubles to suppliers was because of suppliers unhappy with the fact that NYS was saving money by procuring supplies directly from government entities.
With the permission of my peers, I want to give figures on the others, exact figures.
Okay.
Milk, 25 kilogram pack, the powder milk, and there are only 2 companies which manufacture in this country. So the suppliers will go to those companies, buy the milk, and sell to us at 27,000 shillings.
Which are these companies? These 2 companies?
The KCC, new KCC, and what is Brookside. And Brookside. So this KCC is selling to us at 14,920, which is a saving of 12,080 for each packet of the 25 kilos. Yeah. The uniforms, for each uniform, the PS mentioned, we are saving 1,800 by not importing.
Per unit?
Per unit, which is really a very heavy saving. And these fuels, 3 shillings below the price of ERC for any liter of any type of fuel we buy. Chairman, when you make savings of this magnitude, you are taking money from other people's pockets, and they will not exactly continue to be your friends. I would like the committee to note is that when you take business from her, because you have given to someone who you are saving a lot of money, you want to ask yourself, where was that saving going? And is the person who has now missed that saving, are they excited about it? Chairman, if we talk about meat on bone worth 4.9 billion shillings,
yes,
I don't think those are really PSG and myself who rely on our salaries only.
Suppliers unhappy with the fact that NYS was saving money by procuring supplies directly from government entities is what the NYS Director General Richard Ndubai had to say to the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee on Friday, and he was in a sense explaining that particular statement. Let me get a reaction now from a youth advocate here in studio, Raphael Obonyo. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
You have spoken on behalf of the youth for many years. Where does all this leave the young people who have put their hope and trust in the National Youth Service?
I think, thank you so much.
And of course, you can react to all these arrests and everything else.
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. I think as young people, we feel greatly saddened, you know, we are horrified, but we're also extremely angry. You know, youth unemployment in this country is a real problem. It's a real challenge. 70% of jobless people in this country are actually youth. And what youth empowerment programs like NYS, like Youth Fund, and many others seeks to do is to create hope and let young people know that there are possibilities and there are opportunities. Now, these programs are set up, and then you have people who see them as cash cow. I think it creates a lot of hopelessness amongst young people. And so what we are seeing, what we are demanding is firm action. You know, we are waking up to news about arrests, and we remain optimistic but quite guarded. We remain quite skeptical on what is happening, because we've seen this before. People are arrested, taken to court, but nothing happens. So what we want to see is arrest, prosecution, but we also want to see recovery, because we know very well that these people don't take this money to their account. They're investing it in different property. We want to see government going for this property and taking it back. Unless we see that, I think all this is the usual game, and I think as young people, we want to see a lot more than...
so this morning you didn't wake up and think, finally?
No. I think we've seen this before. I think we want to really see people arrested, prosecuted, but we also want to see recovery. 10 billion is not small money. Where is this money? And we also want to see real faces. You know, we don't just want to hear of suppliers. We want to see exactly who are these people, because these people have names, these people have faces. We want to see them. And I think if government is not going to act, I think young people are getting more and more frustrated, and this is something that can cause serious instability in a country. Because remember, we see, and we know, we see people driving very serious cars. We know they can't afford them. We see them putting up very good property. We know they can't afford them.
Has it gotten to a point when a colleague of yours pulls up in a fancy car, you now begin to question his source of wealth?
Yeah, you question, especially, you know, because there has to be a process, you know. There has to be a process. There's no way you wake up one morning, you sleep poor, you wake up one morning, and unless you won lottery, then we see you driving a Range Rover Sport, and you can't explain how you got it. Remember, there was a survey that was done by the East African Institute, where young people who are part of respondents, was almost over 50%, were saying they're now willing to get into corruption, but all they care about is that they shouldn't be caught.
So the issue is no longer about whether corruption is right or wrong?
Yes.
What is wrong is getting caught.
Yes, because we are seeing what the adult generation is doing. We are seeing them stealing public resources, but then they want us to work hard. And we know very well they didn't work hard to get whatever they are getting. And so what this is doing, I think this NYS scandal and the scandals that we're seeing, they're not small matters. What they're doing, we are moving towards decaying our own value system. And when that collapses, then we won't have a country.